A very good evening to all my lovely listeners. Are you ready for a bedtime treasury with Let Emotions Speak? Today's story is about a toy cat. His name is Cat's Whiskers. Cat's Whiskers was a pajama case cat, and a very fine looking pajama case cat at that. Susie's granny had sewn him together when Susie was only 4 years old. It had taken Susie's granny quite a long time to make Cat's Whiskers. Every night she had sat by the fire, carefully cutting and sewing until he was perfect. Cat's Whiskers' body was made from the finest black velvet. He had beautiful red glass eyes, a bushy tail, and the longest whiskers you have ever seen. That is how he got the name Cat's Whiskers. Cat's Whiskers sat on the end of Susie's bed, looking at all the toys in the bedroom in that slightly snooty way that cats have of looking at things. When Susie was asleep or playing in another room, Cat's Whiskers and all the toys would talk to each other. But Cat's Whiskers was bored with talking to the toys. Jenny, the rag doll, was just a rag doll. What could a rag doll possibly have to say that would be of interest to a velvet pajama case cat? Thought Cat's Whiskers. Then there was Neddy, the rocking horse. He was a perfectly pleasant rocking horse as far as rocking horses went. But he only ever seemed to want to talk about how nice and shiny he was and how he thought he was Susie's favorite toy. Even the alphabet bricks, the jack in the box, and the brightly colored balls seemed to have nothing to say of interest to Cat's Whiskers. He sighed and looked at the window, wondering if life was more exciting outside. One day, he decided he'd had enough of his life in the bedroom with all the toys and that he would venture outside to see if he could meet someone more interesting to talk to. So that night, when it was dark and Susie was asleep, he crept carefully to the open bedroom window and jumped out. It was a clear, cold moonlight night. Cat's Whiskers shivered a little to find it so cold outside, and he maybe shivered a little more because he was also rather frightened. But he was very excited to be in the outside world too, and he soon forgot about the cold and his fear. He walked along the fence at the end of Susie's garden and jumped down in the garden next door. He had no sooner landed when he heard a fierce growl and saw two black eyes glinting in the moonlight. It was Barker, next door's dog. He didn't like cats at all. With a loud bark, Barker came rushing towards Cat's Whiskers. His mouth was open wide and Cat's Whiskers could see his big sharp teeth. In fact, he thought that he could see all the way down into Barker's stomach. Cat's Whiskers only just had time to leap back onto the fence as Barker, jaws still snapping, gave chase. Phew! What a narrow escape! Gasped Cat's Whiskers. I didn't realize dogs were so unfriendly. He was wondering where it might be safe to go next when he heard a low hissing voice behind him. Hey, Velvet Cat, hissed the voice. What do you think you are doing on our patch? Cat's Whiskers turned around to see the biggest, meanest looking cat he had ever set eyes on, and behind him were several more mean looking cats, all coming slowly towards Cat's Whiskers with their sharp claws at the ready. Cat's Whiskers didn't wait a second longer. He simply ran for his life. Now he was very frightened. He was also feeling cold and hungry. He wished that he was still in the warm safety of Susie's bedroom with the other toys. Just as he was thinking that the outside world was perhaps a bit too exciting, he heard the sound of a van approaching. It suddenly stopped. its glaring headlights shining straight at him. On the side of the van were the words, "Stray Cat Catcher." Out of the van stepped a man carrying a big net. Cat's Whiskers thought he knew just who that net was for and decided that it was definitely time to go. Without thinking about the dangers he might find himself in if he came face to face again with a gang of sharp clawed cats or fierce barking dogs, he ran back towards Susie's house as fast as his velvet legs could carry him. At last, he reached the window and jumped thankfully back inside, snuggled down again on the warm bed with all his familiar friends around him. Cat's Whiskers decided that perhaps this was the best life for a pajama case cat after all. Hope you enjoyed this story. Now all the kids will tell me which is their favorite toy, which toy they love to snuggle before they sleep, which toy they love to play the most, and which toy they love to keep it safe. See you tomorrow with another story. Bye, good night, and sleep well. And don't forget to like the story, share the story, and subscribe to my channel. Bye bye.